We just take it into all right. Let me go into the slides which describe the content of the lecture, etc. Okay. So what we will do next week is, beside talking about the content of the homework, is we do some insights about the accounting and taxation. Just an overview. Normally, you should have done some in your other lectures, right? Did you? Did you have these subjects in other lectures?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably did accounting, right? Hello, ladies. If you don't answer, then we can stop the lesson. Yeah?
Yes, we have learned the accounting in other lecture.
So you have done the accounting stuff. Means the basics of how to actually build up profit and loss, and how do you book the certain or the special profits and loss and revenues.
I don't think I can done well.
So the accounting means this is the practical side. If you have a business, to have a profit and loss, and to have an overall sheet which describes your company, and you have to book every single profit, every single loss, or every single bill into the system. And then to actually, based on the accounting, you generate the P&L, etc. Was this something you did?
Yeah, something like the balance sheet.
Yeah, the end of the game is the balance sheet. So it's easy. You have the daily expenses. You have the daily revenues and incomes, and this is the basic accounting, so that you register these income, payments, revenues, either by yourself or by a consultant who is specialized in these tax issues or accounting issues. So this is the basic stuff, and built on this basic stuff, daily work, you generate then at an end of a certain period the P&L and a balance sheet. So what of these things did you actually work on?
personally, I did some things like the balance sheet and also the financial plan before.
But you didn't do accounting.
I'm not sure if that can be accounting or not.
Okay. Ladies, what about you? So what happens daily is that if you open up your sushi restaurant, you start with a cash from yesterday. You say, okay, I start my business and my cash is 2,000 euro today. And then things happen. You have people in the restaurant, they actually, oh, where's the mouse going? You have people in the restaurant and they give kind of revenue. Yeah. So that is you sell goods, etc., and then you get cash. This is the revenue out of this. Yeah. You make transaction, that is revenue. It's not profit, it's only revenue, and that hires the cash. And then you have a guy who is delivering goods for your shop, rice, fish, etc. So what you have is you have expenses. Yeah. So he is coming in and say, hey, I need 200 euro. Here is the fish, the rice, etc. That is minus cash. Yeah. This is plus, and this here, sorry, is minus. So that means daily you start with the cash, you make transaction revenue with your customers, and you have expenses every day. Yeah. For every stuff you buy during the day or you get delivered. And on the next day, you start again with cash. You do revenue and you do your expenses. And all these transactions are actually connected with documents, with bills, etc. And these documents, they go, either you do this by yourself, or you go to an accountant who does this service, and they collect all these documents and give you overviews about how your business is developing. Yeah. And what happens is, in a certain time frame, probably it could be also weekly or monthly, you generate a profit and loss. Yeah. And here are all items here are all items in it, which, where is it? Here are all items in it, which actually tells you at the end of a period, either a week or months or quarterly, what is the profit out of your business and what is the loss. Do you have a profit or do you have a loss? And this is something where you actually generate your and drive your business. Yeah? And business is nothing else than, very simplified, what is your income and what is your outgoing money. And that, based on this, you do this profit and loss. And best thing, of course, is you have a profit, of course. And that is important for you. Because here, it's not only what happens in the restaurant. Of course, what happens that you pay your personnel, you pay your car, you pay all different pieces and parts you need to fulfill your business. And all of this comes together in the P&L. And it tells you where you can probably save money or where do you have free money to invest, like marketing, etc. And this is like what you do in a business plan. Yeah? You calculate all the different areas where you get money into your organization and where you have money you have to spend. And like a business plan, the P&L tells you where did you spend the money. And then in the business plan, of course, very important, do I need additional money or not? And in what time frame? Yeah. And out of this, why this? And out of this, out of the business plan, we do every year, or every half a year, a balance sheet. Oh God, so a balance sheet. And this balance sheet contains your assets and your how you say, I don't get the name, liabilities. Yeah. So what is the asset? The asset is everything which is positive for you. Yeah. You have a car, you have a house, you have equipment for your shop, etc., etc. That is your asset side, and this is the liability side. And the liability side is actually what means what is the and liability is the side which tells you what are your what are the obligations. For example, do you have a loan where you have to pay interest every year, every month? So here is the positive side, the asset, and the negative side is the liabilities. And these figures are also coming into this balance sheet. And at the end of the game, it's the same like profit and loss. Here, you have either a lack of assets or you have too much liabilities. Yeah, so like the P&L, at the end of the game, the balance sheet tells you with all components into it whether your business was successful or not. So, and accounting is more or less Accounting is more or less the this here. Where is it? Check. Where is this always? Accounting is more or less this here. This here. The daily booking of expenses, incomes, the transaction, and the P&L. That is the basic of accounting, where all the transactions you do are reflected. And the bookings here, they are daily. All this stuff here is daily work. Yeah, this one is daily work. Every day you go and check your documents and you do this summary of the day. Yeah, that's a daily work. And you give all these documents, let's say every week or whatever, to your internal or external accountant, and they tell you how your situation is. And of course, all these documentations are necessary for the tax agents. Yeah. So of course you have to report continuously to the to state authorizing tax issues. So that is the accounting, the basics of getting your business documented daily. And out of this accounting, of course, via the P&L, at the end of the game, you know how much tax you have to pay or not. So did you do this basic accountings? Okay. So did you also do the final statements, financial statements like P&L and balance sheets? So did you do the, let's say, like how to analyze it, how to build it? Okay. Yeah, okay. Did everybody did this? Did everybody had to do this kind of analyzing at balance?
And we know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. That means what we then have to do in this environment is that I will then concentrate on the taxation, the tax issues, and taxation. Yeah, but we'll see financial statements. And there are only a few specialities of startups against normal companies. Okay, good. And that means what I'm going to do is I will look for more the international view. And that means either English or US way of taxation, etc. Accounting issues. How do you actually evaluate a value of an asset? Did you ever heard about IFRS? Yeah, that is an accounting standard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, that is, for example, an international accounting standard as how to actually evaluate. That is a set of rules. How do you evaluate an asset, for example, or or a liability? So if you, for example, have securities or stocks, company stocks, and IFRS has or gives you rules to how to evaluate the value of these stocks. And that is because IFRS is valid in against the local rules. IFRS is an international set of rules. For example, in Germany, we have the HGB. This is a German set of rules how to evaluate the values of different assets. And that the problem was the English guys had a different one. The Swiss guys, they had a Swiss GAAP. You in China has also probably your own GAAP or financial evaluation system. And of course, when you have an internationalization of goods and traffic, etc., you need some joint rules and standards to make a comparison between a company in China and a company in Germany. And therefore, they said, okay, beside the local rules, also report after international rules like IFRS. That means if you have an asset in stocks as a company in China and another company in Germany has stocks, then they both have the same and use the same evaluation rule, which is an IFRS rule. So it is comparable. Otherwise, it would differ. And that is the reason for the IFRS rules. And these rules are, they have numbers, for example, IFRS 9 or IFRS 6, etc. So there are rules related to insurance companies. Then there are IFRS rules for banks, IFRS rules for companies, etc. So that is the reason you have heard this in lessons about this IFRS. Okay, good. Or Ray, did you also have examples of IFRS rules, etc.?
Yes, we have learned the last semester.
Okay, good. Then you are probably better than me. You probably know more than me. Okay, What I would like to do is, we have in the subject, right? I have to erase this here. Okay, so okay, here. If we look to this document, the second page of our lecture content, you see the literature. Yeah. So regarding several issues and several parts of our lectures, you find literature in these books regarding business plans, regarding financial planning, regarding investments, investment variations, as we did, like bootstrapping, venture capital, seed 1, seed 2, etc. Did you look into several of these books? No? No? Oh, I would have, if I were you, I would have a look into those books regarding the content we had in our lectures. And if you go through the PowerPoints, etc., you see parts of the content we were talking and discussing about. And normally you should always, during the lectures, have a look into the books and see, okay, I have to read this and this and this. So I would recommend within your, or before your homework, that you here and there go into this environment and have a look at. Yeah. Okay. I have one book I sent you connected with the description of the homework. Let me just see. Where is the chat window? So no. Can you see the chat window?
I have read the concept and the cases. The others I haven't read.
The concept and cases. Okay.
Yes.
So I give you one book which I recommend when we were talking about your current homework. And I had a photo describing your homework. you know probably this photo where a guy is jumped out of an airplane.
The mountain.
Yeah, yeah. So this book you should have a look at, or should have done.
Okay.
Essentials of Entrepreneurship, because this is not on the list. So it's called Essentials of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management. And this is written by Norman M. Scarborough. And Cornwell. And here I...
So, see your point.
Yeah, I didn't send it. This is... Okay. And that is the problem. You didn't read this, that you have probably problems with the business plan. So the book is Essential of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management, Global Edition by Norman and Scarborough, Cornwell, section 1 to 4. And the section, one of those is regarding business plan. This is a very good book with examples, etc. So you should have a look in it. And probably you remember when I gave you the description of your task, of your homework, I also mentioned this book. Yeah. So don't forget this little book. Makes sense. Okay. Let's have a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Are you there?
It's 11 o'clock.
It's
11 o'clock 12.
quarter past 11, right? Let's have 20 minutes.